Now, to get rid of this, we got this erroneous idea of the enemy. We got to get rid of it. It's killing us, man. We've got him so powerful. We have the enemy so powerful that we are looking for an antichrist instead of a Christ. I mean, most people in the church are infatuated with finding the antichrist. They don't even know where Christ is at. Where's Christ? Well, that's unfair because you're Midland. You understand that Christ is in you, the hope of glory. You go in a lot of places and ask where Jesus is at. Where they say? Right hand of the Father. Where's that? Up in heaven. Where's that? I don't know, somewhere out of the solar system. It's got to be out of the solar system because we haven't found it yet. But it's out there. It's just someday we're likely to run a satellite across it. And Jesus will be waving at the right hand of the Father. And then those sinners will know there's a real heaven. Because we'll have it on camera. But you know that Christ lives in you. Christ is in you, the hope of glory. Now, if that be the case, then the enemy, man, he's so limited. And I want to show you how limited. Okay? Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. Now, before you read anything, I want to give you this preface. This is very important. The book of Revelation is not out in your future. Not entirely. The book of Revelation is a composite glimpse of who Jesus is in different phases. In every church, there's problems and then there's a victory. In every seal, there's problems and then there's a victory. In all the trumpets, there's problems and then there's a victory. In all the vials, there's problems and then, you getting the trend here? And in the seals and the trumpets and the vials, there's either a dragon or a beast or a false prophet. There's somebody always causing problems, and then there's somebody coming in and whipping him. Did you know that what you're seeing in the book of Revelation is not events out in your future? You're seeing the heavenlies in one book encapsulated in a man called Jesus. How do I know that? Because the book says, blatantly says, here's the revelation of a man named Jesus Christ of events that shall shortly come to pass. And so what you do when you read the book of Revelation is quit trying to find USA Today, Fox News, and CNN in it and start trying to see Jesus, because that's exactly why it was written. And just in case you don't believe that, he then takes you into the heavenly realm and shows you Jesus walking around 7 candlesticks. And in case you didn't know what the 7 candlesticks is, the author literally tells you, and the candlesticks are the 7 churches of Asia that this book has been written to. So guess what the Revelation is all about? Jesus walking in the middle of his church. And guess what happens in the middle of his church? Sometimes the beast comes against it, but he always wins. Sometimes a false prophet comes against it, but he always wins. Sometimes a dragon comes against it, but I hope you're catching some trends. You always win. Why? Because Jesus is walking in the middle of your church. These events are not something for you to hope for someday. These events are something for you to grab hold of now. Let me show you one. Now, if this one's out in your future, we need to shut the doors down and quit. Because the reality is we're not even saved yet. Watch this. That's not reality, by the way. That would be the reality if this is in your future. Revelation 12:7. War broke out in heaven. Time out. War breaks out in heaven? Now, if there's a war in heaven, that means the devil's up there, and him and Jesus are going to duke it out someday. The odd thing is that Jesus in the book of John said, now is the judgment of this world. Wait for it. Now is the prince of this world cast out. When? Way back then. So Jesus said, when I go to the cross, the prince of this world's going to get kicked out. Okay, now you got timing. And a war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. Verse 8. And they did not prevail, nor was there a place found for them in heaven any longer. Look at this. All the enemies that were fighting against the plan of God at some point got kicked out of heaven. Now, if your Revelation view is way out in your future, then the devil's still in heaven. Can I give you another timeout? You want to hear my past? This is how I treated this whole thing in the church. I accepted Jesus. Jesus was the nice guy. The Father was a little mad. I couldn't make the Father happy, but Jesus did. But the devil was always running to God and telling God what I did. I'd do something wrong, and the devil would run up to God and go, did you see Paul today? Did you see what Paul did? And then God would get infuriated, and Jesus would come over and calm him down. But I had the devil always running into heaven. You know what I started to wonder? Why in the world would you let an accuser run around in your house all day? Let me ask you a question. Would you let somebody that's there just to make fun of you and your family, would you just open the front door for them once or twice a day so they can come in and get it out of their system, chew you out real good, make fun of you, and then you got to go argue with them. Why would you waste time arguing with them? You got to go argue with them that, we're not, that's not who my kids are, but come on back tomorrow and tell me some more. And I went, wait a minute, if I wouldn't do that, why is God letting that happen? I mean, why does he let the devil run around all the time? How many of you think he could just kick him out? I mean, why don't you just boot him? Would you do that? Get out of my house. That's what you would say. And then you would expect him to get out of your house. Now listen, you're not better than God. In that scenario, you're a better homeowner than God. You're a better husband. You're a better dad. God's not as good. He lets the devil run around all the time in heaven, just scaring people to death up there. No, folks, no, this is not in your future. Jesus Christ has come to clear the parlor. You're not coming back in this house. So all of it's gone. The great dragon was cast out. Now, just so that all the readers knew who he was talking about, watch all these metaphors. Some people call him the serpent of old. Some people call him the devil. Some people call him Satan. He goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden, grabs hold of that snake. Remember the one where the snake comes and talks to Eve? The author says all the way back from the garden, that was always an accuser. He was always their adversary. Some people call him the snake. Some people call him devil. Diabolos. Slanderer is what devil means. Some people call him Satan. Satan, accuser. Ha-Satan. So that every Hebrew reader figures out who this is. Who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth. Where was he cast to? He was cast to the earth, and all of his angels were cast out with him. Heaven just got cleared out. The enemy got cleared all the way to the earth. He's no longer allowed access in the heavens. Verse 10. Then I heard a voice saying in heaven. Are you ready? Here's your keystone verse for Revelation. You want to know when Revelation happens? You better hope it's already happened. Otherwise, if this verse right here is in your future, you're not saved. Now, salvation. How many of you have salvation? If it's out in your future, you just lied because you don't have anything yet. It's a now salvation for you now. When did you get that? The moment that Jesus cleared the heavens of all accusers. Not allowed to stand in this house anymore. You get out of here. You and your cohorts can head down to earth because you're not going to stand in the heavenly realm anymore. Now is salvation. Now is strength. Now is the kingdom of God, and the power of his Christ has come. Folks, man, you better hope this ain't in your future. Otherwise, we don't even have the power of Christ. We don't have the power of Christ. We don't have the kingdom of God. We don't have salvation. We don't have strength. These are not in your future. These are at the cross. You gained salvation and strength and power, and you gained the kingdom of God. Why? Because the accuser of the brethren who used to stand here and accuse people before God day and night has been cast down. Where did he get cast down to? The earth. So where's he at? The earth. We're setting you up. Because I want you to notice, your accuser no longer has anybody to talk to. Right? Who's he? You can't get in heaven. Well, that's just metaphorical. He can really still get there. No, he can't get there. He's out. He's roaming the earth. That's why Peter said he roams around to and fro, seeking whom he may devour. Why is he roaming around to and fro? Because it's the only place he's got. He just wanders around. He don't have access to God. So he's an accuser with no judge. He's an attorney with no judge to talk to. And you have Jesus sitting at the right hand of the Father. Now here's what I didn't get for a long time. There's nobody up there talking bad about me. I mean, I thought the devil was up there talking. He's not there. He's been cast to the earth.